Hello and welcome to the CircuitPython Weekly for April 29th, 2019. I'm Scott and I go by Tan Newt online. I'm the project lead for CircuitPython. I'm funded by Adafruit, so thank you to Adafruit for supporting CircuitPython. This is our weekly meeting that we have almost every week at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern Time on our Discord channel. Everybody is welcome to join, so if you'd like to join our meeting, you can go to the URL adafru.it/discord to join the meeting at the time, 11 a.m. on Mondays. You can be in kind of three modes. You can be lurking, which is just listening in and not participating. If you don't have a microphone but would like to participate, you can type into the notes stock that is posted prior to it, and I can read those off. You can also put it in the CircuitPython text channel, and I will read it off. And then lastly, if you have voice chat, we'll get to you in a bit. The meeting is structured in 5 sections. We have community news that Phil from Adafruit will read. We have state of CircuitPython and its libraries, which is a kind of statistics view of how the health of the project is going. After that, we'll have hug reports, which is done as a round robin. So we'll go through the list of folks in the voice chat and give everybody a chance to speak about the thank yous they have for people and the work that they've done since they've had a chance to thank them before. After hug reports, we do status updates, which is done in a very similar way. It's done with a round robin as well. Sorry, my brain fart. And then lastly, we have, after status updates, we have an In the Weeds section, which is our discussion section to just chat about any sort of topics that we have that may have come up earlier in the meeting. If you have topics for In the Weeds, you can post those into the text chat, and we'll pull those off and put them in the notes and cover them later. This meeting is recorded. Both the view of Discord is recorded along with the audio, so beware that if you're in there, you are being recorded. The recording goes up on the Adafruit YouTube, which is youtube.com/Adafruit. It gets pushed out to a bunch of podcast services as audio only. And then lastly, it occasionally is put on Diode Zone as well. So if you want to try a streaming service that's not YouTube, check out Diode Zone. There's lots of cool videos there. I think that's it. One last note before we get going. We will not have our meeting next week. So May 6th, we do not have a meeting. And that is due to a majority of us or a lot of us being in Cleveland for PyCon US. So we'll just skip next week. So we will see everybody here in 2 weeks. And with that, let's go on to community news.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay, community news. Happy birthday, MicroPython. It's 6 years old to the day. April 29th, 2013 is when it was born. I emailed, there was a bunch of debate about this. So I emailed Damien, and I'm just like, I'm going to be a journalist for a minute. Give me the scoop, give me the facts. So in our newsletter and the blog posts that are going up today, we have the exact dates and more. It was, the first line of code was written in 2013. It was private before anyone knew about it. Then September 17th, 2013, first code run on a microcontroller. October 2nd, 2013, registered micropython.org. October 4th, 2013, first commit. Late December of 2013, source code on GitHub. And then June of 2014, last of the Kickstarter awards were sent out. So wish Damien happy birthday. We continue to sell their boards. We support MicroPython in a variety of ways in Damien's company. So one other thing you could do is tweet at them and say, thanks for making this cool thing open, and a lot of people are doing some fun stuff with it. But that's first bit of news. As Scott mentioned, the team will be at PyCon, so the Discord might be a little, especially in the CircuitPython channels. For the folks who aren't at PyCon, maybe keep an eye on it. And I also put a link to the PyCon Discord topic that we have. If the teams are using that, you might see them in there. And if you're at PyCon, that might be a way to coordinate with each other. We still have that from last year. And then Sophie's book and magazine is out. I downloaded and looked at it over the weekend. It is all the articles and more from Hackspace, and a lot of them were using CircuitPython. So if you want to point someone to a good resource, like all Hackspace, RaspberryPi.org things, there is also a free PDF. You can support them and buy a book, but if someone can't, there's a PDF, and we linked that in the notes as well. And that is it with the community news.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Phil.
Bye bye.
All right. Let's go on to the state of CircuitPython. Um, this is kind of a statistics point of view, the overall health of the project. First, I'll cover overall. So overall, we had 17 pull requests merged, which is awesome. We had 10 authors. Maker Melissa, myself, Wi-Fi Jit looks new. Carter Nelson, Wallarug, who is new, I believe, as well. Katney, Brent Rue, Lady Ada, Dan Halbert, and CP Forbes. So thank you to those 10 authors. We had 6 reviewers. Myself, Katney, Lady Ada, Dan, Sedacious, and Brent. So thank you to all those reviewers. That's more than we normally have, so thank you again. And then lastly, overall, we had 19 closed issues by 12 people and 14 opened by 13. So more issue traffic than we normally have, but still net down, which is great. Overall, we have release candidate 1 out. So if you haven't been testing that, please test it. If you see any safe modes, let us know. That's the thing that we shouldn't ever see, but it's a nice backup if we need it. So let us know if you see safe modes. I think I will actually do a release candidate 2, or maybe I'll see if Dan can do it. But we have a couple more board definitions we've gotten in since RC1 that would be good to get out, just because we'll want to include those in 4.0 as well. So we can talk about that later, but we're making really good progress. So thank you to everybody for that. Let's go on to the core. From the core perspective, we had 4 pull requests merged, myself, Dan, and Lady Ada. Again, not a ton of churn because we're kind of in the release candidate phase right now. We have 5 open pull requests, but I think that number has actually gone down because I just merged a couple. I think it's more like 3. And then issues-wise, we had 7 closed issues by 4 people and 5 open by 5 people, so we are net down as well. For a total of 163 open issues, there's a list or a link in the notes doc about that. We had 3 open issues on the 4.0 milestone. I think a couple of those are Windows bugs that we can't pin down, so we'll release with those anyway. And we also have 3 issues not assigned to a milestone. I would expect, as a heads up, I probably will go through issues. We'll probably go through issues when we're all together in PyCon, primarily because we have sprints towards basically a week from now we have sprints, and so we want to make sure all our issues are polished up. So I expect to see issues and milestones changing a bit in the next week. Download stats by board between 3.1.2 and RC1 are all broken out by board in the notes doc. I won't read them here. But we've had 13,218 total downloads of 3.1.2, which is not surprising. It's been out a while. But for release candidate 1, we've had 462, so that's good. And then downloads by language, again, 462 total for the RC1, and we've had 12 downloads in French, 7 in Italian, 6 Pirate, 6 Spanish, 7 German, and 1 Indonesian, I believe. So that is the update for the core. Let's kick it over to Katney for libraries.
Thanks, Scott. So for libraries, this week we had 13 pull requests merged from 8 authors, including Wi-Fi JT, Wallarug, and CP Forbes. So thank you to everybody who has been contributing to the libraries. We had 5 reviewers, which is excellent, especially with that being so close to the number of authors that we had. It's really excellent to see so many people being involved. We currently have 35 open pull requests. So we have a lot going on. There is definitely, there are definitely pull requests here that are new and need to be reviewed. So if you're looking for a way to contribute, take a look at some of these open pull requests. Even if you're just looking at it for content typos, that sort of thing, or if you have the opportunity to test them, just post a comment to the pull request. Let us know what you did. Any kind of review is super helpful. We had 12 issues closed by 10 people and 9 opened by 8 people, so we are net down. And the nice thing about that is that's a lot of people being involved once again. We have 109 open issues. And what I would like to talk about here is that we have a new feature on the CircuitPython.org page, which is a libraries page that will have all of the bundle downloads available. And then at the bottom of that page, it links to a contributing page, which will have a list of all the open pull requests and all the open issues, and it will be updated weekly. So where I was trying to do this on GitHub in an issue, it was failing, and I was unable to figure out why. So we have actually implemented it into CircuitPython.org. So I've included the link in the notes with the 109 open issues under that list. Instead of listing them all out in the notes, I have put in that link. So check that out if you're interested in contributing in terms of actually contributing code or documentation or that sort of thing. There's all kinds of stuff on that page to be done. The rest of the notes is information about library infrastructure issues. We try to keep our libraries to a set standard, which makes it much easier to maintain them. So we have a series of checks in place to verify that the libraries are following that standard. And so when they are not, they show up on that list. And that list is not complete in the notes, but it is complete on the contributing page on CircuitPython.org. So feel free to take a look there if you're looking for any way to get started. And that's what we have going on for libraries.
Awesome. Thank you, Katney. Okay, and that is it for the state of CircuitPython and its libraries. We're going to go on to Hug Reports. Hug Reports is a chance for you to say thank you to folks in the community for the work that they've been doing. This is to complement bug reports, so not just the negative stuff, but also thanking people for the positive stuff. We do it as a round robin, so let us know if you haven't. Let us know if you're lurking or text only. And what I forgot to say earlier is that if you're not able to make it, you can let us know and we can read stuff off on your behalf. So that's an option as well. And I will start as an example after I take a time code. So first and foremost, I wanted to thank Katney for leading our PyCon planning. I've been heads down on other stuff and really not worried about it. So that's taken a huge load off my shoulders. So thank you, Katney, for really orchestrating everything for PyCon. I really appreciate it. Thank you to Katney Summersoft and Justin Cooper for the library improvements on CircuitPython.org. Again, it's just awesome to see really cool things happening without me having to worry about it. So thank you for taking that off my plate. Thank you to all the Game Boy hackers who came before me. I've been referencing a lot of documentation about how the Game Boy works recently, and it's just amazing the things that they've figured out. Thank you to Damien George and the whole MicroPython community for making MicroPython 6 years ago. Happy birthday. It's a great foundation for CircuitPython to build on. And if you haven't looked, I suggest watching the video that Matt Trentini just posted about the early days of MicroPython. Damien went over it at their MicroPython meetup in Melbourne, so that was great. Thank you to Carter for sending me the Display.io guide draft. I haven't taken a look at it yet, but I'm very excited to see it there. I will look today. And then lastly, to Kevin J. Walters for his MIDI work. It's been really improving MIDI, which has been great. So thank you to Kevin. And that's it for me. Let's circle back to Brent.
Hello, group hugs everybody, and especially hug to Katney, Maker, Melissa, and Sedacious for all the work they're doing on creating, testing, and doing work on the Python open spaces content. I'm excited for later this week.
Woohoo. All right. I think we'll pause and yeah, let's go ahead and go to Lady Ada.
Hello, can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, wow, it works. I haven't done a ton of stuff with Python lately, but we did release the new which is pretty exciting. So I have some hardware coming out.
The new
and,
what?
The new Pi badge.
Okay. I think it blanked on me.
Hopefully people got them. If you didn't, please sign up. We'll be making more really soon. So it's exciting and new hardware. We also got the Metro M4 Airlift out, and hug report to Kattni and Brent for helping me get that guide ready. See what else is going on. We're also going to be fabbing Sedacious's first hardware board, the INA 260, which comes with a CircuitPython library, so that's exciting. That's happening either today or tomorrow. And so hug report to him for getting that done. Another hug report to Maker Melissa for just totally taking on so much of this display stuff off my plate. It's just been a huge relief, and I was able to focus a lot on a project because I wasn't having to juggle 15 different display libraries. And of course, big hug report to everybody going to PyCon. Have a great time. And hug report DigiKey for sponsoring us so that we could supply 3,500 Circuit Playground Expresses. We got them all programmed last week, or just in time, and they got them. So they'll definitely be given away. I hope everybody at PyCon has a great time. And it sounds like Sprint is going to be a super party, and I wish I was there. But I'm not. I'm going to be here in New York. And that's my update. I got to go to my next meeting.
We sprint all year.
Well, you know, doing it in a room, I mean, that sounds fun. It's like a LAN party, but for coding.
Yeah. Thanks. All right. And let's see. Carter and C. Grover are lurking, so we'll go to Charles.
Just wishing you a good hug report for all of those people who are going to a PyCon.
Thanks, Charles.
I may or may not make it, so I hope I do, and if so, I will be looking for you guys.
Great. Well, we hope to see you, but if it doesn't work out, hope everything works out on your end.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Thanks, Charles. Let's go to Dan.
Okay, got to scroll up here. So I'd like to thank, I've been doing a lot of work on UF2 bootloader, and two people, Vittorio and VE2MRX in GitHub, have been really helpful testing things for me. Unfortunately, the results keep being negative, but it's really helpful that they're sticking with me while I'm trying things. Thanks to Kattni for collecting everything that we could possibly need for PyCon and more, and making sure that we have everything and making sure that all the ducks are lined up. She's done hours and hours and hours, days and weeks of work on this, and it's very important. Thank you. Thanks to Scott for doing RC.1 last week, and maybe we can move on to another one really soon. And thanks, I want to note that Deshipu has been helping people a lot in Discord recently, especially having to do with display stuff and things like that, but also other things. And that's really helpful to have an expert person in Discord when we're not available. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Dan. Okay. All right, and we'll go to Deshipu. Deshipu. There. Oh, briefly. I heard it for a moment, and it's muted again.
He went silent.
I went silent?
He did. I can't hear him at all.
Yeah, I can't hear him either. Mic malfunction. All right, we can circle back to you. Let's go to Kattni. Okay, I'll read it off. Sorry. Deshipu says, thanks to Kattni for directing me to the right people for the guide, I assume. Okay, let's go to Kattni.
Hello. So, hug report to Dan for helping me with finalizing getting gear for PyCon. Put in the final order this morning from Adafruit for the last couple things that we could possibly need. And then a huge hug to Maker Melissa and Sedacious for testing and reviewing the PyCon Open Spaces content PR. There were tons of examples, and they went and tested everything for me and gave me some feedback, and which is great. And I was able to incorporate all that and get it merged. And so now all of our open spaces content is posted, and I can move on to finalizing the rest of the stuff that I need to do. So thank you very much for that.
Awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, let's go to Maker Melissa.
Hi.
Hello.
Let's see. Hug report to Katney for all your hard work with the PyCon preparations. One for Sedacious for helping me with reviewing and the GitHub issues. And one for Deshipu for all your support in Discord with all the display stuff. And just a general group hug to everyone.
Sweet. Thank you. All right, Mike is lurking. So STW is not in the chat, but says group hug to all. I'll put a time code there, and then we'll go to Sedacious.
Hey, I just want to give a hug to Katney for PyCon prep. I've personally went through just a fraction of the stuff she did, and it's an amazing pile of good work. So kudos to Udos. And then also thanks for the sending me an Odroid to test my modules with. I got one of them working fully, so it's yeah, we'll see. Hopefully I'll be able to bring one. Hopefully I'll be able to bring one to the con. So yeah. But yeah, thanks for that, and just thanks for everyone for being awesome. That's it.
Sweet. Thanks, Sedacious. All right, I'll read Summersoft off because he's not back yet. Summersoft says, everyone that helped make RC1 possible, and then just a group hug beyond that. So thank you, everybody. That is hug reports. I don't think we got anybody else. Let's go on to status updates. I was going to tell you what time it was. Status updates is a chance for us to talk about kind of what the work that we've done in the last week, and then what we plan on doing, in this case, in the next 2 weeks, given that we're skipping the meeting next week. Let's see. We do this as a round robin as well, and again, kind of the same rules apply. So if you're lurking, let us know. If you're text only, let us know. If you miss the meeting, we're happy to read it off for you, and we can also just call on you if you have a mic. So, okay, brain cannot talk and read at the same time. Turns out, myself. Last week, I spent a lot of time working on Game Boys. I have a Game Boy cart that runs CircuitPython in a Game Boy and then controls a Game Boy from it. I've made a ton of progress, which is really exciting. It's a lot more stable than it used to be, which is good. It crashes a lot less. It's the gamepad stuff is actually piped into the cartridge, so you can actually kind of play now. I've evolved to I actually started and evolved with the library layer above the C for the Game Boy, and it looks a lot like display IOs, like tile grid and groups and stuff, so that's really good too. Still have to do some palette things, but we'll get there. I got Game Boy Color support working, which is really good. I've been trying to collect Game Boys so that I can do a workshop in June about it, and I need to actually verify that Game Boy Color should work as well. So I got that working, and it turns out that the logo trick to show Adafruit instead of Nintendo works in that case as well, which is really neat. And then I was just, I kind of polished up all my slides for the Language Summit presentation, which is on Wednesday. Just going to need to practice it and refine it. May do just kind of like a 10-minute video of me clicking through the slides as a practice run, and we could post that so people could watch it there as well. Next 2 weeks, PyCon, I leave late tonight, and get in like late morning tomorrow. And then on Wednesday, I have the Language Summit, which is invite only core devs. I'm giving a presentation and answering questions. On Thursday, it's the EDU Summit, which I'm hoping to get myself into, even though I don't have a ticket. I'm helping with registration on Friday, along with our first open spaces. In the evening on Friday, I have a play that I'm participating participating in called the Interface. It's like a Python art event or something. Saturday is mentored sprints, and Nina has a keynote on Sunday. So, and then sprints are on Monday. So it's a packed week. And then after we get back, I think 4.0 stable. So if you have thoughts about how the release candidate is going, let me know. I was thinking about doing it for PyCon, but the reality is that like it'd be good for us to be around in case any like nasty bugs are found that we just didn't see because we do get a lot more downloads on our stable release. So that's what I'm thinking. Maybe another release candidate before PyCon or even during PyCon, and then stable the week after we get back. So that's my status update. Let's go to Brent.
Hello.
Hello.
Last week, I've been getting a newsletter set up. It's a new newsletter. It's the Adafruit IoT monthly newsletter, and we're looking at a release very soon, like within the next 2 weeks. So that's exciting. I've been also working with the IO team on the new documentation page. It's really hard to write documentation, especially for internet services. But we have a lot of it already, but documenting some of the stuff that we don't have documented, like how to use it within QTT, is pretty tough. Hopefully it will make using Adafruit IO with CircuitPython an absolute breeze. I've been kind of like guinea pigging it while I'm building guides myself, and it's pretty useful. I've also been doing miscellaneous airlift work, a Metro Wi-Fi guide for the airlift light, and more stuff like that. This morning I wrote up the IoT monthly newsletter. We'll get some stuff in, we'll publish it on Friday. Not sure if that will be an Adafruit daily newsletter by this week. I would like it to be, but we'll see how this week goes. We're finishing up development on the IO API, like within the next 1 or 2 weeks. We'll have it finished. Everything's in, we're just doing like syntactical changes, and shouldn't this be response instead of a request and stuff like that. I'm also writing an Adafruit IO basics guide for airlift. It's going to use Arduino and CircuitPython guides. It's really easy, like way easy to communicate with Adafruit IO from the new airlift coprocessors that we've been making. And I don't know if I'll get to this before PyCon. I have PyCon on Thursday. I'm getting there. Been playing with Particle Cloud with Adafruit IO, and Particle has some really interesting hardware, especially their mesh networking stuff. And it's compatible CircuitPython, but not the mesh networking part. But it's interesting, and I've been kind of playing with the idea of mesh networking towards IO really easily. It's like if you have their hardware instead of ours, our like the Adafruit related hardware, you'll be able to use it with IO because they don't really have a system where you can log and visualize data. So been busy, but it's going to be really interesting. I'm looking forward to like the new documentation stuff.
Awesome. Well, keep up the great work, Brent, and I'm excited to see you on Thursday.
See you then, Scott.
Cool. All right, let's go to Charles.
Well, I'm working on now. It's now the fun part of my keyboard experiment is coming up. I'm going to try to 3D print some an actual octave of keys, and see if I can then create something that will work with CircuitPython. So that's where I stand right now. I'm going to try using the 23017 as the input.
Awesome. Please post pictures.
Yeah, it's going to take a long time because I'm sharing a 3D printer across country, so it's rather interesting because I haven't found anything local at the moment, but that'll change.
Yeah, you'll figure it out.
Yes, of course.
Cool.
Have a good one. Have a good PyCon.
Thanks. You too, Charles. All right, Dan.
Okay. After later last week, I did some BLE UART fixes, and they've asked us to be able to publish a guide. After that, I spent a lot of time on UF2 bootloader, which isn't strictly CircuitPython, but it's sort of a necessity for it. macOS 10.14.4 broke the current UF2 bootloader when you were using MakeCode, and there's sort of an emergency fix for that, and we wrote up some instructions about updating the bootloader if you're doing that combination of things. And I'm also trying to work on smart stuff, which is smart is a thing that hard drives have that say what their health status is, and there are utilities that read this information, and when they try to read it from the UF2 boot drives, they hang, and all kinds of terrible things happen. And I've been trying various tricks to get them to give up earlier and not hang, and I haven't succeeded yet, but I'm still working on that. I did a board definition for the Metro NRF 52840, top secret, don't ask. And just need to finish testing that. And I've been, for the past couple of days, I've been like trying to just do PyCon prep. I have to get a laptop set up right, and there's a lot of miscellaneous things to do. Okay.
Awesome. Thanks, Dan. All right, let's go to Deshipu.
Okay, I hope that this works now.
Yeah, sounds good.
Excellent. Okay, so I've been a bit busy with things not related to CircuitPython this week, so this weekend basically, but there is progress on my secret project. I can reveal that it's about making 1400 pew devices for a conference.
Ooh.
And I can't say which conference yet.
Okay.
Unfortunately, yeah. But yeah, it's the biggest production run done in China, of course, for me. So there is a lot of like talking to people and making them agree with each other and so on. So that's the non-technical stuff.
Right.
So yeah, looking forward to that. And that's it.
Awesome. Thanks to Shibu. You're not going to PyCon US, but you are going to go to EuroPython?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
I'm on this side of the pond. So.
Right. Well, I'm glad you'll be there to represent MicroPython and CircuitPython. All right, let's go to Kattni.
Hello. So last week, I finally got the PyCon open spaces content posted to GitHub. Thanks again to Melissa and Brian for testing that. So that's good to go. I got the Metro Airlift Lite guide started, or at least ready for Lady Ada to do what she needs to do with it. Updated the PyCon boards on the CircuitPython.org downloads page, both from last year and this year, with links to applicable information, that sort of thing. So if you do go to it, you can get to, for 2018, for example, to the default files and setup that came on the Gemma. So that got that updated, and then ordered the last of the gear for PyCon. This week and next, I'm going to try to get as far as I can on the PyBadge product guide in the next 2 days. Other than that, it is all PyCon. I need to finish packing and prep. I need to finish my presentation. In terms of my schedule, it's similar. With the ED Summit on Thursday, Open Spaces Friday through Sunday, Sprints Monday through Thursday. I will be there for the entire duration. And then I'm doing a Circuit Playground Express tutorial for at the Microsoft booth on Friday at 3:30. So that is the bit that I need to finish writing up and getting prepared for that. And other than that, it's just getting everything set for PyCon.
Sweet. Awesome. All right, let's go to Maker Melissa.
Okay, last week I finished up updating all the CircuitPython display driver examples. They had a block in there that wasn't really necessary. I tested all the PyCon examples that Kattni had posted, and there was quite a few of them. I did some Arduino library display updates, and I finished up a good chunk of my Featherwing display I/O guide. The next 2 weeks, I'm gonna start with doing some last-minute PyCon preparations, which mostly means packing, I guess, and then helping out at PyCon. So just PyCon, 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 and then I'd also like to finish up my Featherwing display I/O guide, and I'm gonna probably find a little time here and there to do some more Arduino library work.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, I'm going to read off SDW and J's. It says, figured out why I wasn't getting useful data when attempting to analyze serial and USB data. I had seen it done in a Open Tech Lab video and remembered 50 but not units. So I think when I looked at PulseView and saw 50 kilohertz as the only 50, I assumed that was the same as the video. In fact, 50 megahertz, roughly 4 times 12 megahertz for USB full speed, was used in the video, which my logic can't do, is a max of 24 megahertz. Since I wanted to be able to analyze the data from both going over serial and USB, I ordered a 16-channel 100 megahertz logic analyzer from AliExpress. I'm also continuing to read about the details of how USB operates. So good. Thanks for the update, SDW. Excited to hear how that goes. I was actually looking at PulseView. I'd love to move over to it at some point. I just don't have hardware that works well with it. All right, and let's go to Sedacious.
Hey, so pulling up notes because I'm slow. All right. So last week I did driver work, as I do on the regular now, and also got 2 hardware boards out of the door, one to Osh Park and one to get on the proto panel with more, or maybe 2, 1 or 2, I forget, some number. So that was fun, and I'm stalling because I still can't find my notes. So yeah, I got the I mentioned this earlier, but I got the Odroid from Kattni and was able to assemble 2 more of my modules. And in the last, since I did my hug reports, I was actually able to get the second one showing up properly with the CircuitPython drive. So I found there was a problem with one of the QSPI pins, but I fixed it and it's working. So I'll have 2. I'll have one to give to you and one to put in Kattni's Odroid as well. So
sweet. I wonder if anybody will have an iron. I could bring my Odroid.
Kattni said she may or may not be bringing an iron. So I found a hot air gun that's like the same model as mine, but like a quarter the size. So I might, and it's like $40 on Amazon, so I might just buy one for portable usage.
We're gonna have plenty to do.
Yeah. So yeah, what else? Yeah, I made some molds for Vanessa. She's going to the 5 Points Festival in June in New York. And so I made 2 more molds for her, and I am demolding them shortly. What else? So next week, I guess I've got more driver work, finishing one that I started. I had to figure out some interrupt stuff for the LPS35, and I finally figured it out. And it's weird, but that's fine because it works. And then I have 2 more boards I want to try and get out the door before PyCon, so that at least there's something going on while I'm out of the office, as it were. And then PyCon. Yay, PyCon. So yeah, that's it. Oh yeah, and hopefully I have one more board that I will be able to assemble before we leave, but we'll see. Depends on when it gets here. And
nice.
That's it.
All right, thanks, Sedacious. And last but not least, we have Summersoft.
Hello.
Hello.
Sorry, I had to step out earlier. So last week with Adabot, so I finished, I guess what we will call the initial libraries updater script for the info that Kattni talked about earlier. And then I've also added Adabot as a submodule to the CircuitPython.org repo so that we can have Travis run the cron jobs for that, which is still in work. For NRF PDMN, I did get a little bit of time, carved out a little bit of time to try tweaking the output values, and it didn't change anything, so no real movement on that. They're mostly unrelated. I did some desktop PC upgrades, which of course always go smoothly, so I was down for a couple days troubleshooting it. And then I started on a Microsoft DevOps professional cert course, which of course, you know, as you're going over the theory, brings up all of these misty-eyed ideas for Adabot and how deep she gets her tentacles. So, and then that was last week. So this week, finishing up the Travis stuff on CircuitPython.org, and then as Kattni also alluded to earlier, removing the large list of issues in the daily report that gets used for the notes. Removing those since they're now over and just pointing over to CircuitPython.org.
Awesome.
That's it.
Awesome. Thanks, Summersoft. Right. And that's it. That is our status updates for the week. Let's move on to In the Weeds. And we'll kick it. Well, I should say In the Weeds is a chance for us to just talk about any other stuff that we want to talk about before the end of the meeting. Yeah, let's kick over to Kattni for the one thing that's in the notes on that.
Yeah, I just wanted to say a quick note about the libraries and contributing page. It is not currently up to date. The content that it has is based on a test build or test run that we did of the script. It will be up to date very soon, but just in case anybody heads over to it and realizes that the information there is not accurate, that is why. So that's all.
Awesome. All right. And any final things? I don't think so. We all know the plan. Let's end with a thank you. You all are awesome. We really appreciate you participating in our CircuitPython community and the Adafruit Discord and all that. We're very, very thankful that you all are here and helpful. It allows us to do things like disappear for like the last 5 days of me doing Game Boy stuff, for example, or the coming week with PyCon. Our moderators have been epic. So thank you to all of our community moderators for really holding the fort down when we're gone. We really appreciate it. We're glad to have for some of it's a work environment, some of it's a hobby environment, but a place where no one's expected to be there all the time, and we can all take breaks for our own sanity and other fun like PyCon. So thank you to everybody, and as I said, I don't know when I was gone a couple weeks ago, if you ever feel overworked or anything, please take the time to take care of yourself. We'll all be here when you get back, and we're happy to help do the things that you've been doing. So if you ever need help with that, you can always reach out to me. I'm happy to help make that happen if you don't feel like you can do it on your own. So with that, again, thank you, everybody. This has been the CircuitPython Weekly for April 29th. If you want to join in 2 weeks, which is our next meeting, we typically do it every week, Monday at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. We are skipping next week because many of us are in Cleveland for PyCon. So we'll just take a week off. You can join our Discord. We'll be there in text all week via the URL adafru.it/discord. This meeting has been recorded, so it will be up on YouTube shortly, along with notes. The notes have time codes if you didn't get that. So if you ever miss a meeting and don't want to read all or listen to the whole thing, you can always read the notes and skip around to the spots that you want to hear. And I think that's it. Again, as always, thank you for making CircuitPython a wonderful project to be a part of, and for me, a lead of. So you just make it all much easier for me. And so yeah, we will see you in 2 weeks. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, have great success at PyCon.
Thanks, Charles. Now I have that song stuck in my head, Sedacious.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.